ideas set to change in motion. Across history, meaningful transformation starts with a spark of curiosity, a spark of courage, a spark of imagination, but ultimately a spark of an action. Ignite, celebrate that moment when idea begins to influence people, community, and the future. Here in city of Yola, it is known for its diversity, creativity, and deep cultural heritage. We provide a platform where local stories meet global perspective, where innovators meet purpose, and where idea find its voice.
They say that change is constant, but we dare to challenge the narrative. We believe that change is not merely constant, but change is ignited. We remain where we are until we ignite change. Here on today, you'll be listening to profound speakers whom were selected from various excellent roles from where they belong. And today, you'll be hearing from them, not from what they've told others, but from what they will tell you. And on behalf of the TEDx team, Yola 2026, I welcome you all. Sit tight, listen. My name is Justin Colby, and
ladies and gentlemen, let's ignite. Thank you so much. We are truly honored to have you with us today. To begin this journey, I would like to crave your indulgence to have you focus on the screen so that we would introduce the moment why we're here. Thank you.
A remarkable thing. Accidents are self-organized. You're licensed from TEDx, a non-profit organization devoted to discovering and sharing powerful ideas for TED Talks. It's not TED itself, but your local TEDx team of volunteers that has done all the work to put on today's event, including booking great speakers. It's this team's ideas, dedication, and time that have made this possible. We really hope today's program sparks an exciting conversation. This is a day for curiosity and for skepticism, for inspiration and for action. The more you enter into it, the more you will take out. And now, on with the show. From Kenya to Colombia, from Iraq to Korea, in slums, in schools, in prisons, and in theatres. Every day, people gather at TEDx events around the world to hear the best ideas bubbling up in their communities. Today, we are part of a global conversation about our shared future. So what is this TEDx? TEDx is an initiative of the TED Conference, a non-profit devoted to ideas worth spreading. We grant free licenses to allow TED-like events to spread globally. This event today is based on the TED community. So please make sure to thank the team of volunteers who worked so hard on today's event. It's their ideas, dedication, and time that made it all possible. It's they who booked all the speakers. And the views you'll hear today are, of course, those of those speakers, not necessarily of TEDs. We hope their talks spark an exciting conversation among you. It is a day for curiosity and for skepticism, for openness and for critical thinking, for inspiration and for action. The more you enter into it, the more you'll take out. And now, on with the show.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, everything beautiful starts with a beginning. We are all welcome once again. To continue here on, we would want to have the presence of the curator for TEDx, Yola 2026, to take us on the opening address.
Good morning. It's good to have every one of you here. My name is Daniel Ishaku, the curator for TEDx Yola 2026. Before I go ahead, I would like to do a very simple activity. May I request you to please look at the person beside you and give them a round of applause for beating the rain, beating the weather, and every other odd they had to beat to be here this morning. Thank you so much for being part of TEDx Yola 2026. I and the team are extremely delighted to have every one of us here today. So this is TEDx 2026, and this is our third edition. In 2019, we had Breaking Limiting Thoughts. The curator was Sir Julius Mbidomti. In 2025, we have AI, Culture, and Change. And this year, 2026, we're having Ignite, Ideas that Set Change in Motion. I want us to note where we are at today. We are at Mirat Hotel and Suites. But then, more than that, we are all together in a room. And this room has a stage. And this stage is not just a stage at Mirat Hotel and Suites. It's a stage in the northeastern part of Nigeria. It's a stage in Adamawa State. It's a stage for the Yola people and for the community of Yola. Now, just to give us a brief idea of how we came about today. About a month ago, we organized the TEDx Yola pre-event activity. It was a sip and paint event that had about 35 persons thereabout. And over 90% of our attendees painted for the first time in their lives. Some held a brush and made their first brush stroke for the first time in their lives. The theme was Paint Your Thoughts. And the idea was for us to create a platform where everybody could express themselves. In Yola and so many other places, there are programs that are organized. There are so many conferences, webinars, and so on and so forth. But we feel like more than these conferences, there needs to be a platform where people can also express their thoughts. When a speaker comes on stage and talks to you in a conference, they are expressing their thoughts to you in words. But at the TEDx Sip and Paint event, we didn't just have speakers expressing themselves in words. We had every participant expressing their ideas in colors and brushes. And that's what TEDx Yola is all about. It's about creating that platform for everyone to find a space for themselves, for everyone to be inspired to take action and execute on their ideas. The next was a collaboration with the Adamawa Hikers Association. We went for a hiking, and it was refreshing, it was adventurous, and amazing. We had about 107 people at the hike in the midst of insecurity, the fear for kidnap, and a bad weather like today. At the end of the hike, a lot of us had to push through the adventure of hiking for fitness. It was tough for some persons. Some had to stop halfway and rest, and then join us at the summit. But what we learned was that adventures, difficulty, hike, we encourage people to embrace difficulty, to take the hard path to the top. And so many of our persons that attended the hike met with me during the hike and after the hike. For a good number of them, it was their first hike. And they said they have been missing this all their lives. They feel like they want to start going on hiking every single week. And that's the power of an opportunity. That's the power of a platform that somebody has or could get where they are able to share their own ideas. Every pre-event was a small spark. But today is a fire. Today is the main event. And so you'll be wondering, why Ignite? Ignite is our theme this year. A spark is small, but a spark in the right place changes everything. We all know of the popular quote that says, a little spark can create a forest fire. This morning at TEDx Yola 2026, we don't just want to create a spark, we want to ignite minds. We want everybody who is in this room today to remember and to recognize that they are in the right room. And the kind of spark that you're going to experience here today is the one that sets change in motion. This room is that room for you. This morning up until the afternoon, we're going to have 7 voices, powerful voices, on one stage, sharing ideas that were built for the world that we are actually living in. Not just some theories or impractical philosophies. You'll hear about faith, enterprise, governance, culture, development, community. Every talk, a different angle on the same question. What sets change in motion? What sets change in motion? And that's the question I'm going to end my opening speech with. This morning, as you listen to the speakers speak, I want you to find out what sets change in motion for you and for your own life. As I go back to my seat, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate all our speakers for accepting to be a part of TEDx Yola 2026, for lending your voices, for sharing your experiences and your knowledge. I sincerely desire that every one of us will glean from what you're going to share today, and everyone will be inspired to take action in their own lives. Nothing on this stage today will happen by accident, and nothing on this stage today has happened by accident. I'd like to also appreciate my team before we begin the event for putting up this event together, for all the hard work, the sleepless nights, and the creativity behind what you see and experience this morning. I'd like to also appreciate our sponsors and our partners for all that they are doing for us. We also have individuals who have contributed to the success of today's event. Thank you very much. It is our prayer and our desire that today is a remarkable day. Have a wonderful afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Please, can we give him a big round of applause? Thank you. Now we move to why we're here. We're beginning our first segment where we'll be hearing from Janada Papka, where she'll be discussing around confidence is a skill we pretend people are born with. And also we'll be having Miss Hadiza Shehu Malumfashi, which she'll be discussing around coexistence is not tolerance, it's a shared survival. Before we can transform communities, organizations, we have to work on our mindset, and we have the speakers to walk us through that. Please, can we give a big round of applause as we have Janada on the stage? Please, can we sustain the claps? Thank you.
Jonathan Papka is a visionary founder and CEO of Classic Couture, an award-winning fashion house based in Yola, and with a degree in statistics from Modibo Adelaide University, Yola. She has successfully combined analytical thinking with creative excellence to build a thriving fashion enterprise. Beyond fashion, she is a dynamic content creator and the founder of Our Lifestyle, a popular digital platform dedicated to modern living, skincare, and contemporary fashion, where she inspires a growing audience with insights on self-care, style, and confidence. As a multifaceted entrepreneur, Jennifer has built a reputation for seamlessly blending creativity, business, and digital influence. Through her work across fashion and media, she continues to inspire people to embrace confidence, elegance, and modern sophistication while proving that success often comes from developing skills rather than relying on natural talent alone. Today, she takes the TEDx Yola stage. Confidence is a skill, and people have learned it. Please join me in welcoming Jonathan.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. What if confidence is a skill we assumed we are born with? What if confidence is something that we learned? Today, I want to challenge us by starting with a question. Have you ever, at any point, looked at someone and thought, wow, they're so confident. I wish I was born like that. It may be an entrepreneur who pitched about their business fearlessly. It may be a person who effortlessly spoke to a crowd. It may be the content creator who is comfortable enough to show up online every day. We often assume confident people possesses something the rest of us don't. We ask questions like, this person is naturally born that way. I wish I was born like that. But what if that is not true? What if confidence isn't something that you are born with? What if confidence is a skill that can be learned, a skill that can be practiced, a skill that can be built? What is confidence itself? Confidence is believing in yourself despite the uncertainties. Confidence is believing to act despite challenges, despite fear. Most times, confidence, we look at it like it's a very big word. And if we believe that confidence is something that is inbuilt, something that we are born with, that means we are not being fair to people who make efforts on a daily basis to be better at whatsoever it is they're doing. That means we are not being sincere to the person who spent countless hours every night practicing, learning something new. As a child, as children, we grow up believing that confidence is something that is inbuilt. Today, I am here to challenge the narrative that confidence isn't inbuilt. Confidence is something that you learn. And as I earlier said, confidence is a skill that can be learned. And how do we do that? First, action.
when you look at action, you want to learn how to ride a bicycle, or as a child growing up, one of the fun things that you want to venture into is learning how to ride a bicycle. You don't just wake up one day and start riding that bicycle. There's a process. First, you need to understand how the mechanism of that bicycle works. Then come the next stage, which is you start, your friends probably from the neighborhood start pushing you. As you start riding that bicycle, maybe a day, 2 days, 3 days into your adventure, you discovered you can actually ride that bicycle without anyone pushing you. And before you realize it, suddenly you're excited. Oh, wow, you discover that I can actually do this. Then what's stopping me? Why am I scared in the first place? In the process, you keep learning. And eventually, you discovered you can actually ride that bicycle without help from anyone. That is how confidence is. Confidence is something that is inside of you. Confidence is not something that you're born with. Confidence is you having the courage to take action. You can never be prepared when it comes to achieving your dreams, trying to do something for yourself. Confidence is something that you have to first take action. By what? By believing in yourself, by telling yourself that you can do it. Then come the next stage, which is what? Making research, trying to understand that, oh, this is something I can actually do. I need us to understand something. You can't just wake up one morning and say, let me give myself time. Probably I will get better at doing something, and eventually I can pick up from there and, show to the whole world that I can actually do this. No. What do you need to do? First, you need to be truthful to yourself. You need to believe in yourself. Today, it's either this thing works or it doesn't. So, what's stopping you? The most important thing for you to do is to what? To keep pushing. To encourage yourself to what? To encourage yourself to do what you're scared of doing. Then, next come the word, the work. You have to put in the work. The fact that you tried it the first time, it didn't work, doesn't mean you give up. No, you have to keep practicing. Why? Because confidence is repetition. It's you trying something you're not used to over and over again till you get better at it. And in the process, if you discovered whatsoever it is that you're venturing into is not working, that is why we have a lot of platforms for research. That is why you can actually do research, and what? In the process of doing your research, you discover that there are lots of ways that will help you in the process of achieving whatsoever it is you're doing. And in no time, you will get better at whatsoever it is that you're venturing into. So I want to urge us all to have this mindset that none of us are born confident. None of us are ready. As I am standing here, deep inside I am scared. There's that possibility that there's this voice that is saying, oh, you cannot do this. Maybe you should just go home. Maybe you should just run out. Maybe you should just tell them something happened, you're ill, or maybe your baby. Just give a cover story from the rehearsals yesterday. But then, looking at it, I asked myself, all this while that growing up, you have been watching TEDx stories and all that, this is the opportunity for you to stand on that platform and talk about confidence. And the fear that is inside of you, the fear that is telling you not to go, not to stand, oh, probably by the time you climb that step, by the time you stand in front of people, everything in your head will just disappear. And I'll look at you guys and say, good morning, thank you for having me. No, but I told myself, I am not that person. Everything in life is a process. There's a process, there's a time for learning, there's a time for execution, and there's the time to yield results of whatsoever it is that we have prepared ourselves or whatsoever it is we're interested in. So confidence is you not being sure of what you have inside of you. but you believing in yourself. So it is very important that whatsoever it is that you're trying to achieve, you first believe in yourself. You learn the art of talking to yourself and telling yourself that, oh, I can do this. Please don't ever let fear hold you back, because fear is the number one thing that is holding us back. We have to understand that none of us are born ready, but it is you that will make what conscious effort to say, this is the person I want to become. This is the kind of person I want to be perceived. This is what I want to have inside of me. That is why it is on you to ignite whatsoever it is that is inside of you, to give it out to the people, to share it with the world. It may be your craft, it may be your belief, whatsoever it is, you have to have faith in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Someone out there will not believe in you if you first don't believe in yourself. So confidence, reputation, action, these are all things that work hand in hand. And most importantly, always have what? Courage. I am all saying the same thing. Have courage. Don't be scared. Overcome that fear and that voice that is constantly telling you you cannot be whatever you chose to be. Overcome that fear by waking up every day and making small effort by what? Becoming whosoever it is that you want to become. So I believe that today, before leaving here, we will have that mindset that confidence is something that we can learn. Just like any other skill we're interested in, just like any other skill that you feel you want to learn, whatsoever idea it is that you think, oh, this is something I like, this is something I will excel in. I want you to look at confidence that way and tell yourself that confidence is something that I have to equally learn. I was having a conversation with the lady that did my makeup, and I was rehearsing, I was talking to myself, and she was like, Auntie, I don't think I can ever stand in front of a crowd and speak to people. In the first place, what will I tell them? What will I say? That the moment she climb that stage, she'll just panic. Maybe she'll run out. Maybe she'll start crying, or she'll just faint. And I just laughed and told her, I wasn't born confident. Growing up, I wasn't like this. But what did I do? I made conscious effort. By what? YouTube is out there. There are lots of information, free information. If you use MTN, you will know that you have free data for nights. You can use that time to what? To learn whatsoever it is that you want to learn. And that was what I did. I started surfing. One of the things I like is research. I started reading. I started understanding what it takes to be a confident person. Right from my secondary school, you know, this is something that I am used to. I'm one of the school prefects. So most times I am always on the stage. It's not like I am always ready. Most times I feel nervous. Most times I feel scared. Most times I don't feel comfortable, and most times I am not ready. But I made efforts to what? To learn what it means. To learn that confidence, having confidence is one of the most important things. If I am going to be a business owner, if I am going to be a successful fashion entrepreneur, I have to learn and have whatsoever it takes to talk to people. Someone cannot walk into your store and you just tell the person, this is the price of what I am charging you. The moment the person screams at you, it's too expensive, you suddenly become scared. You suddenly feel or have that feeling that, maybe this person thinks I am expensive. But if you are a confident person, you're going to explain to your clients that this is the reason why I am charging you this amount, and this is why you are paying this amount. What does that tell you? It tells you that to be successful, you may think that, oh, my work is just behind the scene. I don't need to interact with people. What if it is you going out with your friends and you're having conversations, and most times you don't say anything, you don't contribute, you don't make efforts to know about some certain topics, and you're having conversations, and the only thing you keep saying is omo, omo, omo. You can't say anything, you can't contribute anything. It's still confidence. It takes confidence to go out with your friends, have meaningful conversations, and you contributing or you saying something. You must not really say, oh, I want to have an in-depth knowledge of everything. but it is very important to have a say, to have something small to contribute to a particular conversation so that you can also learn from other people. It's high time we stop hiding in our houses and having this mindset that, me, I cannot do it, so I am not born that way. Oh, I don't know where to start. Start from YouTube. There are lots of information on YouTube. There are lots of information, free information, where people are teaching about confidence, where people are teaching about what it takes to be a confident person. So I am telling us today that confidence is not something we are born with. Confidence is something that is inside of you, that you have to ignite it. Confidence is a spark. It's inside, but it is you that will stir it up and say, oh, I want to be a better person. Not just for other people, but for yourself. It is very important. Why? Because each of us have a gift. Each of us are born with a gift. And how do we share that gift to the world? By being confident, by putting ourselves out there. How can you put yourself out there if you are not a confident person? How can you network and relate with other people if you don't have that confidence? Most of us attend events like this. At the end of that event, they're the first person to leave. You don't network. You don't walk up to the speakers and say, hi, my name is this. I am into this. I attended an event some months ago, and it's a pitching event. It's an entrepreneurship pitching event. This particular frames are from the lady. It's from one of the ladies that pitched about her brand. And I was so impressed, and I got these glasses from her. So imagine myself going to that event, and immediately I just left. Attending events like this open opportunities, a lot of doors for you to connect with other people, for you to have meaningful conversations, for you to understand a lot about whatsoever it is that you're interested in. It may be an event that has to do with what? With like minds or creatives or people that are far ahead of you already in that industry that you want to link up with them. So you leaving that event without saying hi or getting 2 or 3 people's contacts, it's not going to help promote you, your brand, or whatsoever it is that you have inside of you. So we all have a gift. I want to urge us all to be confident people, to allow people tap into our gifts, to share our gifts with people. By being confident enough to walk up to people, by being confident enough to join groups that help us get better at whatsoever it is that we are interested in. So I want us to also know that confidence is something that is not just words. It's not just you sitting on your bed saying it. It's something that has to be practiced. Why? Because it's a skill. So you have to practice it. You have to force yourself, even on days where you don't feel like it, even on days where you feel like, oh, I'm not making headway. It's difficult. It's actually difficult. Whatsoever it is that you're trying for the first time, please pause at any point and remind yourself that I don't know this thing. I am only learning it for the first time. So it's okay for me to make mistakes. All of us started somewhere. None of us are born masters. Whatsoever it is that you're doing right now, there was a point in your life where you started learning whatsoever it is. There's a point, and there's a point where you realize, oh, I am getting better at it. And there's a point where you feel confident enough to stand in front of people and talk about that thing or present that thing to the world or share it with other people. I was recently following up on Hadiza's story. Hadiza just started her farm in Yola. Hadiza is not from Yola, but then she started her farms in Yola. I've always watched her videos online where she carries along on how she goes about doing her business and all that. And that is really impressive. That is telling you that Hadiza started this business elsewhere and she felt the need to what? To venture into it in Yola. And she's what? She's carrying us along. Imagine Hadiza said, I'm not from Yola. I don't think I can do this. I don't know people in Yola. So how can I come to Yola and start a new venture when I am not an indigen of Yola or Adamawa? But one thing that I know and I am sure of, despite the fact that I am not in Hadiza's mind, is the fact that she took the whole thing serious and she did not allow fear. She was courageous enough to say, Yola is a new ground, but I am willing to try, despite the uncertainties, despite the fear, despite the fact that I don't know if people are going to buy from me, or people are going to patronize me, or people are going to relate with whatsoever it is that I am doing. But what did she do? She took that bold step by what? By carrying us along and even showing us the process. This is day 1, this is day 2, this is, can you see my bed? They're growing, they're doing so well, they're healthy, and people are asking her questions. People are, let me tell you one thing. Once you say you want to do something, there's always going to be people out there who will connect with your ideas and help you along the line in your journey in life. There may be people that you don't know, you have never met them, but from having conversations, probably you're out there buying feet. You went to a store that sells feed, and then eventually you meet someone. He will now tell you, this feed is not good. Oh. I bought this feed some months ago, and my chickens, or whatever it is that you guys call it, suddenly got ill, and I feel like there's something wrong with it. And in the process, you guys will now strike a conversation. And before you know it, you exchange numbers and, keep tab of each other's work and, meet up, maybe something. I think something is wrong with this. Can you please come and help me check? And in the process, you have built a relationship. And that is what connection is all about. You cannot achieve this if you are not confident enough to go out there and share your story, your dreams, your ideas with other people. You are not going to meet amazing people that will help you achieve your dream, your goals in life, if you're always hiding in your room, tagging yourself as an introvert. That's, oh, I don't like people. It's difficult having conversations with people. Oh, I'm scared of talking to people. At the end of the day, it's either it works or it doesn't. At the end of the day, there's always something to learn. So please stop hiding in your rooms. Go out there, network, connect, and in the process, you will meet people that will what? People that will help you achieve your dreams, achieve your goals. You have to stop letting fear hold you back. You have to stop letting fear pin you down in your room, and having this mindset that you constantly tell yourself that you are not a people person, I don't like people. All of us, there's always that voice that talks to us, and that is our subconscious mind. We all have that voice. You know that voice that always talks to you? That is your subconscious mind. And I am going to tell you today that there's something called word of affirmation. Please go and understand how word of affirmations works. Because whatsoever you say to yourself, if you wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I woke up from the wrong side of bed, believe me, a lot of things will go wrong. So many bad things will happen. You see that subconscious mind, that voice, it doesn't care what you feed it. Whatsoever it is you feed it, that is what it will pick. So ladies and gentlemen, please, I want us to go back home today with that mindset that confidence is not something you are born with. Confidence is a skill that you have to You have to learn, practice it. Stop being scared and put yourself out there. Thank you.
Imagine that the questions you have in your mind are being answered. Like some of you seated here are wondering, who is she? What does she have to offer? Can she meet up with the expectation? Is she fit to stand here? Well, I'll answer some of those questions. Do I feel fit to stand here? Maybe not. I do not feel ready to stand before all of you. I'm not saying that I'm not good. I'm simply saying that I decided to take a step. It took me a long time to realize that I would never be ready. That some things do not just come and meet you. What is this other thing they say again? Tiny steps are better than big, mighty expectations. So permit me to share a story with you. Many years ago, a lady named Victor was born into a family. That's me, by the way. She was celebrated just for being born, just for being herself. But a point came she had to transit to eating solid food. It was new, but she adjusted. The next change involved her going to school. It was new, she cried, but she adjusted. Then came primary school, secondary school, tertiary institution. These were all new grounds. So you need to see the challenges she faced along the way. Primary school was nothing like nursery school. Tell me, how do you compare A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3 with actual addition and subtraction? Or the use of pencil with the use of pen? Then she moved to junior secondary school where she had to deal with basic science and basic technology. Or senior secondary school where someone that is being used to she was used to being told what to wear, how to move. She had to make the choice between the arts, sciences, and the commercial. That was not all. She now moved to tertiary institution. After all this, she has to deal with life as an adult. And she feels that's a lot. But this is the same lady that has done nothing but adjust all her life. So I have to remind myself that I am not small. I've done nothing but taking steps since when I was little. And these steps always felt big, always felt new. So let's imagine again. Imagine that I never started education simply because it was new. How would I have known how far I can go? So because this new ground is unfamiliar does not mean that you are not enough to take it. So I'll do it afraid. I'll do it when the shoe feels too big as though I'm about to lose my grip. I'll do it afraid. I'll do it even though it feels as if I'm going to be swallowed by 1,000 unforeseen circumstances. I'll do it afraid, even when the road is not clear, because the vision only becomes clearer when you keep moving. And that's why I'm here. I'm not here for the accolades. I'm not here to prove a point, but I'm here for me. Because I can only become better if I try. And that's my new anthem. I'm here to ignite you, and you, to set those ideas in motion. Because you can never truly know who you are meant to be unless you try. I'll take that again. You can never know who you are meant to be unless you try. So life is not a practice. It is not rehearsal. It is the main thing. So you have to do the best that you can at the moment. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful moment we're already having here. To take us on the next in this event, would take up the activity for the Startup Spotlight. And for this, we would be inviting carefully selected personnel whom have had their hands laid on things they do, and we are proud to share. They are proud to share with you. I'll be calling on Abdullahi Abbas Ribadu, who is presenting on Prep Sync. Abdullahi, you're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps not in favor of Abdullahi, but in our favor, we wouldn't be seated for so long in silence. We would make welcome the next idea breaker, who is going to be Hajia Hafsat Aliu, who is representing Bina Bint Limited, and followed suitly by Wisdom Lester Atsanan, who is presenting for Lulex Shoes Limited. We make them all welcome to stage.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. And I welcome you all to this wonderful event. You know, it's funny how the first I was talking about courage, being confident. And when I came here today, I didn't know that I was going to be called up here to talk. So thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I actually gained a lot. So I'm just going to freestyle here. I don't have a script. I didn't prepare anything. So it's just going to be natural. My name is Hafsat Aliyu, the creative mind behind Binal Beans Limited. Binal Beans Limited is a brand that deals with craft, general art and craft. We started with resin art. What I'm holding here is an example. I came to Adamawa State 3 years ago, unknown of what I have, like what is awaiting me. I got married, and I was formerly a shoemaker back home. So when I came here, making shoes was no longer comfortable because I'm a married woman, and I didn't have the space for the shoemaking setup and all. So I started researching for something I could do from the comfort of my home. And then I came across resin art. And being the creative person, I instantly fell in love with resin art because it gives you, there is endless possibility with it. We make stuff like souvenirs, key holders, books, tables, wall frames. Think of anything, even floors. So I'm bringing my creativity to northern Nigeria to help women and youth to get skills that can get you good money, actually. So that's all I have to say. And secondly, along the way, craft and Binal Beans was separated. It has another arm called Craft and Unwind. It was recently launched, actually. At Craft and Unwind by Binal Beans, we bring creative experiences to your event.